steering wheel. Lapse the steering wheel, yeah. Give him steering wheel. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to him. Come on! Whoa!
Your leg, my please. Your leg.
How the f*** is that possible?
I'm driving like a grandma. Get that, Ralph? Did you hear me? Proper radio. Ralph, acknowledge. Now, come on, close him down and kill him. We've got a lunatic on the track. Down that interstate.
I am so annoyed.
Boys and girls, your attention, please.
Hello and welcome back inside the Perk from Mayfair podcast number 975. This is Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
Seriously, Todd, stop yelling at Todd.
Well, look faster, Todd.
Yes, a.k.a. Negative Camera. You know why I've asked you here tonight.
You must convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
That's all I need to do. Hey, grab a beer, sit down, shut up. We're going to go through this week, or a glass of wine in Grace's case. What do most people who listen to our podcast? Are you drinking coffee and commute or beer in the evening? I have no idea. But tonight, we're going to cover this week's news because that's what we do. Before doing that, got to go all the way to the right coast, nestled near our nation's capital. You know where you love it, the lovely, the redoubtable Grace. How you doing?
Well, I would recommend that you don't drink the beer on your commute. They frown on that.
Yeah, open container law and all that.
That's a bad idea. Don't do that. But yeah, otherwise cool. How am I doing?
Here's a picture. See, people, they accuse me of not being married because they never see Mrs. Camber. So there you go.
I've met her in real life. She's a person.
She's a person.
She exists.
I know people think, God, nobody could love that thing.
Oh, come
she
on,
does.
man.
She does.
I know.
Or at
You're
least she
both
tells me
lovely
she does.
people. Well, I mean, you made it through raising children and, what did you say, 5 animals. You're good.
Yeah.
I mean, what more tests do you need?
That's it. That's it, man. That's about all the tests I can handle. I'm telling you.
You're good. I'm here for that. No, how am I doing tonight? I'm great. Under about like 10 inches of ice, but otherwise, doing great.
You got the ice. Yeah, you got the ice. Normally, where I live in St. Louis, it comes up from Springfield to St. Louis. There's this band, and normally it's above it's snow. Below it is like freezing ice.
Yeah.
And we always get hit with a mix of everything. This time, it was just all snow. We must have got about where I live. We probably got like 11 inches of snow.
Yeah.
So that was, it was a lot of snow. It was a lot of shoveling, I must say.
We got about 3 inches of snow, and then at like 8 in the morning, it turned to ice. And it was crazy sounding, right? Because you can just hear the ice pellets in the sleet and whatever. 10 inches of ice. It was great. Shoveling was great. I could walk on it. It was fun. It was kind of like walking on a pond, right? Like you feel it kind of crack, and you're like, am I going to fall through? But not fun. So
that's kind of how it was in Memphis, from what I understand. But
yeah, the ice was bad. I don't recommend it.
Oh, I know. I don't either. It's not fun. Hey, before we get started, huge thanks to our Patreon supporters, and a huge thank you to our dear friend Jake for his support. Incredibly kind, and very, very, very grateful for your support, my friend. Just awesome. Very humbling. Also, we're going to cover the news. There's news to cover. The news cycle's January 20th to 27th, 2026. So the new era is officially here. 2026 cars are on track, Grace, for the Shakedown.
7 weeks after the end of last season, here we are, ready to start the new season.
I know, we're in Barcelona. Well, you know how the rest goes.
We didn't even get a chance to do that many, off-season random podcasts.
I know.
It was just like there was no rest for the weary this off-season. So.
I know. Listeners are probably happy, but, for you and I, that off-season, we got settled in. We had time to come up with some creative podcast ideas. Oh, it'd be fun. It's like the wine and cheese episode. Yeah. We come up with different episodes. The whole get to know you thing that, some people couldn't care less, but we had fun with the off season, and now all of a sudden, we managed to get a season review squeezed in, and here we are. We're in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Right. Or as you might say, Barcelona.
Barcelona.
There you go.
Jorge Lorenzo.
Jerez. Right?
We're good.
It's crazy. The new era is here. You know, the theme of the week has to be reliability and readiness. Who's on schedule? Who's already scrambling around? We're going to talk about that. Am I supposed to go apoplectic like other podcasts where it's, what's going on about the private testing? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
I don't know.
We're going to talk about it. You know what? We're just not going to rant and rave and arm wave and make silly faces. We're going to debate whether the privates are good or not.
Okay.
You know, that's just how you and I roll.
Privates are we checking out here, Todd?
Well, F1s, really. Under
I don't know
the
that
hood.
I don't want to know. I
This is the below the belt mix, Grace.
That's between them and their doctor.
Yeah, you just keep that stuff a no.
I don't need to know.
We had the Barcelona Shakedown Day 1.
Yeah.
2026 Aero regulations, new engine confab, all of that hit the track this Monday, the day we're recording. So day 1, closed door testing, no media access, no official timing, although there was some timing leaked apparently. Oops.
It leaked.
I know. It's leaked. Did you get that? Air quotes?
Yeah,
yes, leaked.
Yeah.
And the teams only get 3 out of the 5 days. So what does that really translate to? Well, look, it's the first test. We've covered a bajillion of these already. This is old news for you veteran TPF listeners. But as we always say, you're judging the systems, mileage, smooth operations, not leaked timesheets. Timesheets at this point only means something to the team that's running the car. But so, who all ran today, Grace?
Okay.
Let's talk about that. We got 7 teams on tap at Barcelona. You had Mercedes, Red Bull, Racing Bulls, Haas, Alpine, Audi, and Cadillac all running. Who didn't run? Can we read anything into this? McLaren and Ferrari expected to start no earlier than Tuesday. And Aston Martin throwing a stake down saying, no, we're planning on running Thursday and Friday only. How about that?
All right.
I bet I sent you a leak from last week's podcast? We talked about the Honda engine launch, and you were laughing about a Honda engine launch. And I sent you the next day. What'd they do? A Honda engine launch. Yes.
No, who needs this? Nobody needs a Honda.
Here's our nice Honda engine. Isn't it pretty?
Look at this blurry spot. Great.
You see this sort of off aluminum color? That's kind of this, and that's nice.
Why is this a thing? What cool.
It's a thing. Hey, look, it's.
I mean, I understand maybe why Honda wants to do it, but I don't.
I get why Honda wants to do it. They want to big it up. Of course, and you should. Yeah, you should.
Get some drivers to sit on your engine. That's what'll big it up.
Right. Get them to sit on the transfer case or something. I don't know.
Right. That's right.
You know, why not? So you had Aston Martin's going to run Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
Now, oh boy, Williams not running at all in Barcelona. Not going to do it. You have to wonder.
Oh no, it all went wrong.
Is it one of those moments, or we've seen this before for Williams folks? Now, admittedly, it was in the lean years and the nascent years of rebuilding, but they kind of gave that whole first test a miss. And we've seen this from other teams too. But if I'm honest, Grace, I don't know that I was expecting it this year from Williams.
No, I thought they would be there. I'm surprised. I mean, so I think that's the thing is that, right, there's 5 days. You only can race 3 days. So it makes sense that Ferrari and McLaren are like, we'd like to let everybody else go first. We'd like to see what you're doing before we go out on the track. That makes sense, right? You can wait until Wednesday, do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, fine. You know, and you already told us you weren't coming today, so fine. But I think Aston Martin just running 2 days is a little cheeky, but Williams not coming on, that worries me.
Yeah, it kind of does me too. They said, yeah, we're not going to go to that. We're just going to work on some stuff, use these days.
Some spreadsheets. Clean the factory.
We're going to pull out some Excel spreadsheets. Right.
No, it cannot be, Ricky.
Yes. Yeah, you got him out there cleaning up the shop. Oh, you missed some oil over there.
Yeah, that's right. Like he's Ron Dennis. This is not acceptable.
Yeah. Maybe they're busy with S&OP, trying to catalog wings, get QR code stickers on them. Who knows what they're doing?
I don't know.
Entering all that in to the computer and doing all that fun stuff. I don't know exactly, but they're not going to show up. So take that for what you will. Start your own rumors and create your own AI slop about it.
Yeah, did they say why? I'm sure they did. I just didn't watch James's video.
I think it's been a while and I can't remember the exact. I think they were kind of like, we're not doing it because we're still working on some development issues and pieces that we're putting together and that kind of thing. They're still working on the car, I guess. Fair enough. And you wouldn't expect, like in the old days, like the old days of Ron Dennis,
Ron.
is be like, some sort of flowery language about how not showing up here is actually a tactical advantage and real strategery, right?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't get that kind of fluff, from James. I mean, if he was behind the 8 ball, he would come out in one of those, very hat in hand videos and just explain, we're really not where we'd like to be. And
that's right.
We're going to use this time to focus on, that's kind of James, James transparency vows. So that's good.
So that's good. I guess you have one of two options. You can either be Alpine, who basically like 3 races into the season, we're done and we're focusing on 2026. And Williams clearly didn't do that. So that's the ultimate thing, right? They know, James knows, even if I don't know, that, if their plan was really they were going to develop the 2025 car, which they did, and they were successful, which they were, they're a little behind on the 2026 as opposed to Alpine that was just like, this year sucks, 2025 isn't going to get us anywhere. Let's not worry about it and just focus on 26. So those are really your two options there.
And suffice it to say that day one absence is I wouldn't overread that. It's it's a limited allocation test anyway, and the real tale is how cleanly the teams execute once they choose to run. And they've already been running the engines, nonstop and all of those things. It's different when you get on track and actually run it. But I would say that, a group like Aston Martin or Ferrari and McLaren waiting to maybe run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or something like that. If they choose to only run a day or two or even in Williams' case not show up, I think I wouldn't overread that yet. I guess is my advice.
Way to learn all the fun.
I know. I'm just being practical out of this. Everybody's all these news stories and social media and videos and everything apoplectic about it. But it makes for great clickbait. But I wouldn't overread that yet. I would wait until the Williams runs.
Yes, the race just recounted about how they had to walk around the track. So it was like story time with Ed as he walked around the track. So
I saw that poor Ed. Sitting in the car in the front seat of their car with Jonathan Noble, kind of like, hey, here we are. Couldn't get remotely close to the track. We kept getting shooed 1 mile away. No, it's too close. Another mile away. Feel bad for them. And it's tough. These guys are, they're F1 journalists. They want to get up at least close enough. I think it got some sounds of the car, but
had to work for these 6 weeks, right? Where,
right. Right. There's no stopping Ed. He's freight training that career of his.
That's right.
So we talk about testing every year. We get into testing with, oh my gosh, and this and that and this and that. At the end of the day, yes, all of the, certain speeds around corner and with the wings and the arrows and all that measurement and the pitot tubes and, the fencing they put on to gauge the aeroflow. All of that is pertinent. It all happens. It all means a hell of a lot to the teams and how fast they were through the middle of this corner and the corner entry and the corner exit and when they could apply throttle. All of that is critically important to the team. Even on this first test, they're measuring all of that, of course. But in reality, that's important to the team regarding contextually its car, right?
We have none of the context.
We don't have any of the context, right? And so it often begot that sort of phrase that, oh, you can't tell anything by testing. You can't tell. Well, the teams can tell a lot by testing, not only their car, but others. All right. It's just that we don't have that context as fans sitting at home watching that. What we do have, and the one real context that we are in possession of, and I would argue at this first shakedown test is the most important one, the one that really matters, is total mileage and the total amount of laps that they generate during their 3 days of testing this week, because that's critical, and especially for the new engine, the new power unit delivering 50% of its power by electric with the power boost and all that electric. That's a major, major issue, and how well that car performs and how many miles they can put on that car in the heat of driving it around a track and trying to set some pace is critical. So I do have close to, if these aren't exact numbers, I think they're thereabouts. But as in past years when we've done preseason reviews or previews, I always did the testing. I kind of didn't really focus on timing, but I definitely put all of the mileage that teams did because this is a critical element. So, first day, this bodes really well, Grace. Haas, top of the heap, 154 laps.
Good job.
Not only does that car look terrific with its new livery, but I got to tell you, it's same. It's got the Ferrari in the back of it. 154 laps. One would assume that Ferrari may have equal good mileage out of their engine because it is a Ferrari engine.
Right.
So they hit the track, new engine, new Aero, new car. Didn't run into a lot of niggles. 154 laps, and that is fantastic for the first day.
Absolutely.
Very excited for Haas.
Yeah.
And
good job, Komatsu.
Yes, what Io and the whole team is doing over there. It's fantastic.
Right.
Next up, your friends, Mercedes, somewhere in that 149 to 150, 151-ish laps.
Good.
Yeah. A huge volume of mileage. I say because I've seen a couple different estimates amount of laps, so the variance there in laps. I'm going to be close on that count. So a lot of folks going into this season felt in the lead up to today that Mercedes engine could be the one to beat, that Mercedes have been doing a tremendous amount of work. And this bodes well for that, right? 150.
And Mercedes is just hoping it bodes well for them this time.
Yes. Yeah. As long as they get that Aero worked out. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's that. I would say as happy as I am for Haas and 154 laps, I am equally as happy for Red Bull. They did over 100 laps, and why that's important, folks, is that's the first public outing of their in-house Ford-backed power unit. Lots of question marks around that. Yeah. Red Bull's never built an engine, not like Mercedes, not like Ferrari, not like Honda. They've never done that. And so they created their own engine shop. They manufactured their own engine, working with Ford. Lots of concern and question marks over the efficacy of that engine, how good it would be. Is it going to be a strong engine? Is it going to be a reliable engine? Is it going to be a fast engine? I would say at first blush, 100-plus laps from Red Bull is a very positive thing for them.
Yeah.
That's my thinking.
It didn't blow up. That's good. We're good.
Yeah.
100 laps. Everything was nice.
Yeah, 100 laps.
Okay.
Equally as good is Racing Bulls. They had 88 laps. That's good. It's another 88 on the Red Bull PU, which is good, right? Mm-hmm. So that's good. You had Alpine with 60 laps. I think there was maybe one interruption, red flag mentioned somewhere in the press that I saw regarding Alpine, but they had 60 laps in their pocket. Limited running, though, early stoppage. Audi had 27, 28-ish in that neighborhood. They stopped early after identifying a technical issue. And Cadillac had 44 laps, around 33 of them by Valtteri Bottas and 11 of them or so by Sergio Perez, explicitly sort of prioritizing debugging over those laps. So they ran out 44 laps, looked at the systems, started working on some debugging things, and then chose to lock it up for the day. So, I would say on Cadillac's part, Grace, that the low lap count could actually be part of their strategy for this shakedown. I could see them saying, okay, new chassis, got a Ferrari engine, powertrain. Let's go in. Let's run a series of laps. Let's identify any issues. Let's stop. Let's fix it. Run a few more. Let's stop. Let's fix it. It's part of that strategy of just sort of breaking it in.
That's right. That's right. That's the whole point of a shakedown, right?
Yeah, right.
It's to kind of get where's the where are the issues? Where are the little things that that last 10% or whatever that you can really only address out on the track. That's the shakedown. That's the whole point.
Yeah. I don't know that it's necessarily a crisis. I think context matters more than the totals, but it depends. If you showed up and the engine blew up, that's a major issue. But if you show up, you run from laps, you stop, you're working on it. The reality is you may be coming up with a debugging punch list at this point, and you're going to try to methodically step through that program. That could be. I'm guessing. Could be. So I think if I was to talk about Monday, Grace, see how if I was to think about the headlines and the highlights from this Monday, I'm going to hit you with these. Tell me if they're compelling enough to get you to click on the headline. The first one is Red Bull's power unit debut vibes. So Hadjar said they got more laps than expected and only minor issues, which is a calm first day tone for a brand new engine program, right?
Okay.
I think that sums up Red Bull's day.
Yeah.
What would you add? Where was Max?
Who would expect? I think we'd be more shocked if he was there. I think that would be the headline. Why is Max here? That's when I'd be worried, right? Wow, Max is here. I'm worried.
I'm worried.
Of course, Hadjar is going to be there, right? That's not surprising.
Right. Yeah, he's the test. Yeah, at this point.
That's what he's supposed to be doing.
For Mercedes headline, I would say it's all about driver feel. George Russell described the new power as pretty impressive and emphasized the car feels smaller, lighter, while looking extremely quick through Barcelona. That's a positive thing from Mercedes.
And George does, yes.
Yeah.
Driver feel, all right.
Driver feel, I think so.
I think it's good to get Kimi out there. I mean, I think that he had an as expected 2025, but you're still shaking down the driver. You want him to get more seat time to get more comfortable in Formula One in that car. It's a new car. Get ready for 2026. So I think I would be pushing Kimi more than just to kind of get out there and get confident.
Yeah. It's good. Audi, short day, stopped as a precaution, says the issue is identified and fixable. Bortoleto framed it as normal early shakedown pain.
Don't question us.
So, to juxtapose the two, you have Audi showing up, taking over Sauber. They show up, develop a chassis, and a brand new Formula One engine. Had some issues, stopped after a few laps, said they identified it, they're going to work on it. Juxtapose that with Red Bull showing up, brand new engine, never ran for over 188 laps.
Right.
So I think you could read some things in there, but not a whole lot. It just tells you that Audi has some niggles they got to work out. They got to figure out what's going on there. Red Bull, I would say, has been doing F1 a long time, so they kind of know what the engine should be doing. Although it was a Honda for several years, but they kind of knew what their engine should be doing. So we'll see. Cadillac, first real systems day. Bottas and Graham Loudon emphasized debugging first. and highlighted new realities around the torque and battery management. So the newcomers, I think, trying to cut their teeth, even though that is a Ferrari engine drivetrain in the back of their car. Still, you got to bolt that to their new chassis. You got to figure out how that works, right? You got to figure out.
They really need the
works.
Shakedown. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got all new. They are all new. So.
Right. There were multiple stoppages, red flags. Audi's mid-morning stop, another possibly linked with Racing Bulls. I don't know. I've seen hints, innuendos, and allegations. No official feed. The exact sequence was really kind of messy, if I'm honest. The bigger point is the normal new reg gremlins that showed up immediately for some of the teams. That's pretty typical under a new regulation, and they're going to be working really hard in the balance of the week trying to solve and cure and fix those, and then go back. And then when they hit the full test, hopefully they've got that sorted out. But as you mentioned, I thought it was funny. Motorsport.com was talking about how tight the security was, and they had exclusion zones, and a brief period where there was some unofficial timing leak before access tightened down, and they were saying, if you can see anything with your eyes, you got to back up. They had these exclusions. So, apparently it was really on lockdown.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I mean, Jonathan Noble had to find new hiking trails, right?
Yeah, he was up on a hill up there with binoculars.
It reminds me of during the pandemic, right, when Ted would sit in the empty grandstands, right, with his monocle, or, with his monocular, not a monocle, that's something different. His monocular, and would talk to Crofty from across the track. It was great. That's what it's like.
Funny.
I just envision him. He's up there with his little telescope, he's Ted, just looking at what everybody's doing, right?
Right. So it does bring up the thing. Is the closed door approach smart? I mean, certainly the teams are trying to protect their IP during a massive reset in regulations. I get that element of it. Or is F1 fueling rumor cycles by starving fans and the media of basic info? On one sense, that leak timing, I think that report had Hadjar quickest with a 1:18. 159 and Russell close to that, but I think you got to treat that as noise. There are different programs, no push laps were expected, and really no verification of any of those numbers. Is Formula One right? On one sense, I would say, I don't know. They kind of did. Formula One sort of itself was bigging up the marketing that the season has started, and here's the shakedown, and Formula One is back, and the new regulations. And, if they had a light touch on the marketing, I could understand it a little bit more. It'd be one thing if it was just the press going overboard about the shakedown starting. But Formula One didn't miss the marketing opportunity either. And they kind of doubled down on that and did a lot of marketing and promoting around, Formula One's back, or at least press.
I love it. I love the
stories.
idea of Formula One having a light touch in the marketing department. I don't think that's really what they do, right?
Maybe not. Lighter than normal? I don't know.
A light touch from these people. Not anymore.
Yeah. So I think on one sense, I can understand. Look, if you're going to go out and on the website and stuff, talk about how exciting it is to have the season back.
And then not let anybody see it.
Not let anybody see it. That's not the funnest thing, right?
No, but it does. I mean, I think it does both of those things, right? It keeps the team's IP quiet, and secret. Yep. And it drums up the drama machine. Who doesn't want that, right? So, it's a win-win for Formula One to say, oh, look at how exciting this is, but you can't look at it. Go find a hill somewhere to stand on, right? That's win-win for them, and just annoying for us, especially because, again, as fans, there's not much we can deduce from watching testing.
No, that's sort of my take on it too, Grace. I think on one hand, I could see what the criticism is. On the other hand, it could be a little bit of marketing genius in the fact that you get everybody so excited, and everybody's in a fevered pitch for the beginning of the season, and we're all dying to see what the cars look like and dying to see first laps and sounds and all that stuff, and you can't see none of it. It's like
no, it's like you can smell the barbecue, but you can't get near it. Right?
Yeah, right.
What's going to make you hungrier than that? Nothing.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that was pretty good. Let's see what to watch on day 2. That's on Tuesday. Ferrari and McLaren are possibly expected to run. Watch the space. Audi's response. It'd be interesting to see, Grace. Do they return immediately after the fix? How much of their limited day allocation do they really spend? And especially if there's the forecast projecting rain over the next few days. So how much do they want to go in on that limited allocation?
10 inches of ice for Barcelona, I see. That's going to change everything.
Right. So does that make sense? Or do you want to take time to fix the fix?
I think if you're Audi, you can't wait.
Yeah.
Like if you're McLaren, you could be like, oh, we came Tuesday. Oh, it rained Wednesday. We'll be fine. I believe that maybe McLaren or Mercedes would be fine without all 3 days. But Audi, I think you should be there all 3 days. I think I'd be a little more worried. And definitely if you're a Cadillac, the rain, you can't, you have no space for that. I got to get out there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Audi needs to run. They got to put the miles in, especially if they came up with some issues that they need to fix. You got to pound that out.
And this has to be good for team building as well, right? Because, I mean, I don't know how much of Audi's team management has all, again, we only know the big 5, but, there's thousands of people that work at this team. So some part of it is, too, is like, this is like a dry run, if you will, and they get to talk to each other and work with each other and go through pit stops together and, problem solve together. So some of it is also you want your humans, not just the car, has to get a shakedown too and kind of get themselves into gear and how every team does it. I mean, it's like a relationship. Like I've dated other people. Everyone's different, So
right.
Don't tell Flip, but that happens. And I think that, you have to, you figure out how this is all going to gel together and where maybe there's human things that don't work as well as your mechanical things that don't work.
Yeah. And look, this used to be the Sauber team and they were running and that's all, that's great. But on the flip side of that, it's a brand new Audi engine in there. So that team needs to figure out when the error code says PC load letter, they got to figure that out. What's going on?
One of these days, I'm just going to drop it out a window. Yeah.
Yes, do that. Do exactly that. Let's see. Cadillac, watch for them do lap totals rise once the debug punch list, it shrinks. Will it shrink over the next few days? Will their lap count rise? Certainly we saw Haas put in a lot of laps on that front engine. One would presume that Cadillac can do equal. So let's see what they do. Aston Martin pressure only Thursday and Friday. Interesting announcement. Running means that they need clean, uninterrupted days, and the Newey spotlight is certainly going to amplify any hiccups if they have one. Let's be honest, Grace.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expectations on this.
I think everything I just said about Audi, just pick that up and put that onto Aston Martin. That's the team that needs to shake down the humans. What are you doing there, people?
Right.
And especially because old Larry is intense and he is not going to stand for any of this human shakedown business. Get it together, figure it out. We got to hit the ground running. You don't have time for that. Yeah.
A lot of expectations on this car. This is Adrian. Last year is kind of like when they asked him, well, is Adrian helping you out with the performance of the 2025 car? And he's like, he kind of looked at a couple things, but not really. He's 100% focused on 2026. Right. So he couldn't be bothered with last year's cars. It was on this car. All eyes are going to be on Aston Martin if he nailed it, right? And they've got a new Honda engine. So anyway, watch that space. That's what I'm looking at
Aston Martin.
For day 2. Yep. What else is going on? Well, I've got some off-track money, power, and politics. Who doesn't like money, power, and politics? The first one up is there's a circulating rumor that Christian Horner Consortium in talks to buy into Alpine. Reuters are reporting it, that Horner is among those in talks regarding an Alpine stake. And Alpine has confirmed interest publicly via multiple outlets. So there is that.
They aren't going to say, well, there's only one person who's interested in me. No, I have lots of calls to the prom, and I'm going to pick which one I'm going to take.
It's like Ralph Schumacher and all the numerous drives people are throwing at him.
Correct. That is right. Nobody was, Ralph. But we like that you tried to pretend that that's what was happening. That's not what was happening.
Right. Well played, Ralph.
Yeah. Well,
look, interest is not a deal. Right?
It's not. I I have lots of interests that never have been deals. So, you know.
Yeah, right.
It's not a stake in Alpine. I have no interest in that, but there are things I do have an interest in.
Right. I think it's got to be early days. There's a lot of discussion about the amount. I mean, the valuations of all these teams has dramatically increased since Formula One got super popular. So whatever Alpine was worth a few years ago, is now significantly more. Is the investment capital company who owns the majority, are they willing to cash out, sell to a group like Christian? If Christian comes in, what kind of deal, what kind of governance right, who controls the sporting decisions? Is he in the seat as CEO? How does that impact Flavio? There's a lot to discuss there. Not saying they couldn't get it figured out by April, which I think he's on gardening leave till April, but April's not that long away. No.
I mean, isn't his consortium also part of the Alpine?
Yeah. So, Rory McIlroy.
Those guys. Yeah. Why
Patrick Mahomes. Yep.
Yeah. Why don't they make Ryan Reynolds the team principal for Alpine? Because that's the question we really.
It's working for Wrexham, isn't it?
Yeah, right. I don't really care if Christian Horner is going to buy into Alpine. I don't care as much as that. I want to know who's going to be their team principal.
Right.
Does him buying into it mean that's what's going to happen? That's what I want to know. Who's running this boat? Because Flavio is like, I am not being team principal. So who's doing it?
See, I'm thinking Ryan and Rob are missing an opportunity. They should just sell out Wrexham now because they cashed in with that whole documentary series. Now they should just cash out, take that money, and do the same thing with Alpine that they're doing with Wrexham.
Gosh. That would be great.
Moved to really France with the engine or whatever. Well, no, now it's a Mercedes, so maybe you can't do that. But anyway, you get the point. Yeah. They just get all embedded in the culture of the Alpine team and do a whole Wrexham thing.
I want Ryan Reynolds to spend time with Flavio Briatore. Who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want to see that? That's like the movie My Dinner with Andre, That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? I mean, the whole thing would be just like, Jesus Christ.
What? It's just him and Rob going, do you know what he said? No idea. Okay.
No idea. Yeah. The three of them, Ryan and Rob and Flavio at dinner, Yeah,
it's like, we'll send them on the Bonato, Steiner wine tour at the beginning of a Drive to Survive together. The three of them, Flavio shoved in the back of a tiny vehicle. That's what I want. Like
with a bottle of Beaujolais.
Who doesn't want this? This is great content. Drive to Survive. Give me a call. This is great content.
It is. Ryan and Rob can own that.
We were just here checking in on our investment. How's it going? Oh, we're taking Christian too? All right. Put him in the back with Flavio.
Right. So I don't know. Is this a genuine return to F1 power play? I don't know. Or look, as I mentioned, the valuations have gone through the roof. This could just be financial positioning. While the valuations are growing, they got the new Mercedes lump, the new regs. Interest is an all-time high. Is Christian just making an investment for gains? As a good investment? I don't know. I thought about it, and I was thinking, there's probably a lot of things a guy like Christian could do. You go back a few podcasts where you and I were talking about this, and I said, I don't know. I'm sure there's got to be an element of it that feels like he's got a little egg on his face, and even now that he's out, you still have Zach Brown talking shit about him, and Toto saying it's not the way he wanted to go. Yeah. I'm sure he's got egg on his face, and he wants to come back in and rebuild the team and go back at it, and that's one thing. On the flip side, thinking, who wants the headache and all the hassle and all that? I think he should go to MotoGP and start his own MotoGP team and just dominate.
Oh my gosh.
That would be great. Christian Horner and Gunther Steiner going hammer and tongs at it in MotoGP would be hilarious.
Yeah, until Valentino Rossi boinks both of them or something, right? Like the Three Stooges. What are we doing here?
I don't know. He's got a lot of places to put his money. We'll see if he puts it in F1.
He could be the sixth Spice Girl.
Why not? Why not?
He could be.
He's a handsome man. He can pull it off.
I don't know which spice he would be. I'm like, I'm gonna try to keep this PG. So I'll just keep my ideas to myself. Which spice would Christian Horner be? I don't know. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
Good. Also, Grace, McLaren signs Puma as team kit supplier. Did you see that?
I didn't, but I hope they make some nice shoes. My Skechers are pretty nice, my McLaren Skechers. So Puma, I have some high expectations for your orange shoes.
At least that's what I think I saw.
Or they could make them blue, and then I'd have orange Skechers and blue Pumas,
whatever it is, you need a pair of trainers or tennis shoes in papaya.
Yeah, another pair, sure.
I think that's a moral. You could use I
get lots of compliments on those shoes. People are always like, "Well,
Monday,
look at
Tuesday,
them."
Wednesday, Thursday.
They're bright orange. You can't really miss them.
Yeah. Do you get to go into the whole? Well, actually, these are papaya, and
I don't.
Actually, my right and left foot are equal. We have papaya rules between my right and left foot. There's no number one here. I can kick. I can play kickball with my left or my right.
Yeah.
So you got that. So anyway, Zach doing what Zach does. If there's one thing that Zach does know, it's how to sign sponsors, man.
That's right.
I mean, he's a genius at that. Yes. Kudos, Zach. Great job. Yeah. Let's see. It's like this whole Cadillac readiness and hiring surge. They were being interviewed, and Graham was saying that, we were building the team, put out some job recs, and had tens of thousands of applications.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Who knew? I will say they never got back to me on mine.
I was going to say, they didn't say how many were qualified, right? That's what you really want. Like, I could put in an application. Well, of course.
Mine was completely, I was probably overqualified. I'm just going to put that out there.
I can't do
all right, Graham, maybe that's why you didn't call me back, We
can't justify this expenditure.
Right. That's okay, Their driver lineup, Perez, Bottas is they were kind of positioning in their pressers and stuff as sort of experienced first launch strategy with veteran. And
it's smart, yeah.
It is. Look, they're credible development references, right? In a brand new team, the biggest risk is misreading the car and what the car is doing, or chasing the wrong problem on a car. Veteran drivers tend to give that repeatable, structured feedback that can help the engineers really separate that sort of setup noise from a real design limitation, right?
And not just numbers on a graph sheet. They also verbally know how to, what to say and how to work together across different cultures and the different way teams work. And they've both been at multiple teams, so they have a real sense of kind of how this kind of works a little differently at each team, but how to, like you were saying, no, I'm telling you this is the thing, or how to. That's a real skill. I think that in any field that people work in, not everybody has that ability to just be like, no, this laser focus is this issue, and we just need to focus on that. And so that's what you want by your experience first strategy.
Yeah, I think so. Being able to determine that's probably a setup or ride height issue, tire pressure issue. They know the difference in feel versus a real design issue, right? And they'll know that. They'll feel it, like you said, verbally. They'll talk about what the car is doing, and they've got that down. And that matters, even more in a new reg era where correlation is hard to come by.
Right, you don't know.
Right. So are you listening, Peter Windsor? Just throwing that out there. So I used to go on his podcast, but then I disagreed. I didn't know that was a rule. Like, you can't disagree with Peter.
Okay.
And I disagreed with him, and he never had me back on. So, and we disagreed on this issue. That's what we disagreed on, because he was saying you really want those drivers to go in and push the car and really overperform and go crazy and all that. And, Paul and I have talked a million times, and Paul's done this a million times. And he was like, no. You want consistency out of the driver. You want consistent metronomic performance.
Yeah.
Any variations you want out of the car, so you can get a read during shakedown of what the car is doing. Once the car is solid, then yes, you want the driver driving that like crazy and overperforming, right? But right now, during development of that car, you need that consistency. So,
I agree.
It made Peter mad.
So. I'm sure it did, but I don't. What? I don't know. Then just do your own radio show, right? Like, why have a guest on if all they're going to do is go, oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm not a yes man. You picked the wrong guy. But I mean,
anybody. I mean, what's the point except to fuel your own ego, I guess? But I mean, it's not really a it's a conversation. You say things, I say things. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. Like, that's the point. Yeah. Or we see different perspectives of the same thing. It's not really fun if it's just like, yeah, that's great. Great idea. Cool. Next topic. Yep, I agree with you. Great.
Right. And when I was in Italy, I was at Ferrari and I was talking to their engine guys. This is right when they were getting ready to do the hybrid power unit. And we were talking about, we were at Fiorano. We were having lunch and we were talking about the development of that car and the engine and all the variables that could happen. And I remember talking to their engineering team about that very topic. And they said, oh, no, yeah, that's the thing, is that you absolutely, the driver has to have great feedback, understand what the car feels like, if it's just a setup change that needs, or if it's an intrinsic design flaw that's causing some issue. You need them consistent in and out like metronome, so we can determine what the car is doing and they can tell us what the car is doing. And then once you get the car, then you want them to overperform. And that's coming from Ferrari, for crying out loud, and I tend to believe them. So
what did they know?
What else is going on this week? Let me find this. I'm looking.
Well, look faster, Todd.
I am. Works, teams, and big claims. Audi.
How do you have so many sound clips with Todd? Are they all from the same thing? Like, I'm very impressed by your ability to have, like, 20 clips that involve your own name somehow.
I know. Well, you know what this one is.
No, Todd, not now.
That's from Zoolander, right?
Right.
But these...
Seriously, Todd, stop yelling at Todd.
Well, look faster, Todd.
That last one, that's Rob Lowe.
Well, I mean, it's definitely Rob Lowe, but
Yeah. So, anyway.
It just impressed. I didn't know there would be a new Todd-related quote that I hadn't heard so far. Very good.
It's not a very common name. There's only about 48 of us out there, so you know,
that's right.
We're all born around the same era. That name kind of got popular for about a minute, and then they couldn't unload that name quicker, and it's never been heard of again, except for that one little pocket of the 48 of us out there born around that little one moment in time. And then, so if you ever meet somebody, Todd, you know exactly, he's Gen X.
How old they must be,
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, works, teams, and big claims. Audi unveils debut livery and targets... what? Huh? Targets titles by 2030.
Well,
What? Order! I know. Grace, Audi launches its first livery and stated a championship ambition by 2030. Now, Grace, you know this. You are a woman heavily steeped in the corporate world of America. You've made plans. You've seen plans and strategy. Grace, 5-year plans are common. 5-year successes are not.
Well, of course, but they're also not going to, they're not going to say...
Yeah, we're hoping to toil around at the back until 2040.
We're just here for some money. We're not really here to do anything, right?
We're here to sell A4s.
We're just selling some T-shirts. We're just selling some, CMD machines. We're not really here to win anything. Right. So I think that, 5 years always, it's like how we like things in threes, right? Like, Todd is fast, funny, and fabulous, right? Like, we like things in threes. Like, it has a nice sound to it. It's sort of that 5-year plan. People are like, oh, yeah. It's enough that it gives you some space that people are like, okay. But, it's not so far out that you're like, and I'm ignoring you, right? 5 years is somehow that sweet spot that, I agree. Yeah. Like, success is not the same as, a plan, or, you can have a plan. That doesn't mean you're going to get anywhere. But, I always joke because I hate the, where do you see yourself in 5 years question. I don't know, alive. I don't know what you want me to say here. Still employed at this place? I don't know. 5 years.
I hate that question.
So long.
Every time you bring up the question, I used to work for this person. She was horrible. When I say horrible, Grace, I mean horrible. And she was the worst. And I had risen very, very quickly, came in and then went to supervisor, then manager, and I was going all the way up. And my boss gave me a great review, and she was just as mean as possible. And so anyway, I had gotten a new job, and I was going to start in a couple of weeks, so I didn't really care. But she called me off. She says, "Yeah, I'm looking over your review, and I know your supervisor gave you a glowing review, but I don't agree with it, so I'm going to change that." And she goes, "I just don't agree." And I said, "Well, I think I have achieved, all the things on there." And she goes, "I think it's a better question for you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I leaned on her desk and looked at her and said, "Firing you."
Yes. Not here.
She didn't like that. She
I'm
told
sure
me to get
not.
out, and I left. So anyway, 5-year success plans. What does win by 2030 actually require? Well, let's think about this, Grace.
Okay.
A incredibly fast, incredibly efficient, and incredibly reliant power unit.
Yes.
Competitiveness, right?
Okay. Right.
It takes not just Me Too Aero.
Right.
You have to be class leading aero design.
Yeah, it's Formula One. Yeah.
At the innovative, doing crap aerodynamically that no one else thought of or is doing.
I like the phrase "Me Too Aero," right? Like
Me
I
Too
get what you're
Aero.
saying.
Yeah.
I see what they're doing, and now I'm going to do it. Right?
Yeah.
Me too. Right.
Looking at you, Aston Martin. Yeah. Remember the green Red Bull, the green
Correct.
Mercedes?
Right.
So, you have to be an aero leader. Driver
Tracing
talent.
point. Yeah. I got
right?
you.
Driver talent. And then, as you brought up earlier about working together, just complete and synergistic operations excellence.
All the way through. Don't be like Ferrari. Don't have your guy at the top or, over here talking trash on your guys over here. Like, all together, and you sort it out in the locker rooms, and you don't bring that trash forward where we all get to see it, right? Like, figure out how to work together. And, it's 5 years is ambition. But, I think the support, it's the Renault story, right? Like, you need to know that you're going to have the support that if you have a slow start, which they are most likely, even though it's Audi, right, they're going to have a little bit of a hiccup here in the beginning. Just like Kimi Antonelli. Nobody thinks Kimi Antonelli is trash just because he had a rookie season, right? So they're going to have some of that. And but your boardroom has to be behind that. And the people that have the money for you have to be behind that and give you that space. I guess you want to be a new TV show on HBO, not a new TV show on Fox, right? That's going to give you like 3 episodes and then pull the show. So
right.
That's what you want. And that's going to take some time and somebody to just kind of go, here's some HBO money and I'm going to turn away and let you do what you do. You do you.
Yeah. But look, I applaud. You got to say something. I think you're spot on, Grace. You got to say something. Look, we've
5 years sounds good.
5. I always think those 5-year plans are just long enough that nobody will remember what the hell you said.
I think that's the beauty of it. It sounds kind of like, but it gives you enough space to kind of like readjust it. You can't be a year. A year from now, I see myself. That's too short. You're never going to be able to accomplish that.
Right. So, but let's just breathe some reality into it, though. In reality, what it took 5, 6, 7 years for Red Bull after they bought Jaguar. Anybody remember that 100-race plan that Renault had when they came in 2016? We're still waiting.
Yeah, right.
Right?
100, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. So
give or take a few races. We're good.
I'm not saying that Audi couldn't, pull the rabbit out of the hat. They could. They're brilliant, brilliant company. But I love the ambition. But I'm not. I won't hold it against you, Audi, if you didn't win the championship.
I like it. It's good. It's good. They gotta,
Yeah. There's a lot to do there. It's like Aston Martin, it's some concerns about, it's going to be tough with this Honda engine, new Honda, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. Thinking, I don't know. If anybody knows how to package a Honda in the back of a car, wouldn't it be Adrian Newey? He did it 4 years on the trot and won championships.
It is the beauty of the Ron speak. That's what you need with this 5-year plan, right? Like, you need a little Ron speak where it's like you said 20 words and none of them meant anything. But it sounded good. It made a good little, news bite. But you're like, what does that mean? Nothing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. But it sounds good.
Yeah, it does. It does. All right, I'm going to skip a story. I'm going to go down to the headline, which is McLaren doubles down on no team orders philosophy. Oh, I love the papaya rules.
Well, that's fine.
These have just become silly.
This is like a dog with a bone. This is the world is just really run with this papaya rules thing.
I know. Well, they kind of made such a big deal of it at the beginning.
I mean, they did it to themselves.
They did. They totally did.
And they just doubled down on it and kept going.
Yeah.
So
No, the papaya are always like, okay, seriously? But anyway, I was reading McLaren reiterates commitment to treating Norris and Piastri equally, even after prior criticism about missed strategic leverage. I think I read that in The Guardian. So I was reading it, and I was thinking, okay, look, is fairness a competitive advantage? Culture, retention. I don't know. Is maybe from a team culture and retention of two great drivers, maybe this fairness thing is a competitive advantage. I don't know.
But you don't want non-fairness. I think it's the other, like, you don't want Red Bull, right? Like, so I think it's not so much if it's a binary, right? It's either your, Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello or your Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. If those are your only two options, you're leaning towards the Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and away from the Michael Schumacher, Rubens Barrichello. So, I think it's not so much is fairness competitive advantage. I just think that unfairness, non-fairness is not. So it doesn't really work, and most teams don't really work that way now. So, I don't think you can do that with these two drivers either. You would have to hire
I think with these two, I think you're going to lose one if you do. But, but you're talking to a Ferrari fan, so I don't have a problem with what Red Bull does. Because I lived the Schumacher
But
years.
It was a stated purpose. I think they went into that, right? Rubens knew that was his job. And so that's fine. Hadjar knows that's his job. That's different than all of a sudden, now I'm going to tell Oscar after I hired him, oh, by the way, your job is to be second. That's not going to cut it. He's going to go.
Yeah, there's just no illusions. I know. I've talked to Rubens. I love Rubens. Rubens is an awesome dude. He really is. But he's not Michael Schumacher, right?
No, right.
So anyway, I don't know. Would fans accept a harder stance if it wins titles, or does McLaren's brand benefit from this principle? What do you think?
Fans just want wins. I don't really care. Right? If you're gonna go, we're gonna go fairness and have papaya rules, and you win both championships again. Great, that's my favorite strategy. If you're gonna be Red Bull about it, and you're gonna have number one and number two, and you win championships, great. I'm for that. So I think from a fan perspective, that's a really kind of a weird question. I think that it depends on the ethos of your team. I don't see where the ethos of McLaren is going the way of a number one and a number two. So then your only option is to have two number ones. Yeah. And you just have to kind of always, I think it makes things more complicated. I'll put it this way. So yes, being married to another person complicates my life, right? It would be easier if I was just myself and I could do what I want and make decisions how I want to, and I never have to talk to another person about what's best for this household, right? It would be easier that way. But there's some benefit by having that second person, right? Because now, even if it's just an increase in bandwidth or somebody that knows how to do plumbing, I don't know how to do that, or a second person to help me shovel the driveway, there's some
or scoop the litter box.
Right. There's some benefit of having two people at a team, right? So, it's easier perhaps if you have a 1 and a 2. It's easier to say, no, the number 1 gets it. But are you really getting what's best for your team that way? And maybe not. I think for some teams, it's really just not going to work. It's going to have to work as a marriage, although that kind of partnership takes a lot more communication. Yeah. Because
they come by it, though, naturally, Grace. If you think back to 98, 99, McLaren, Ron Dennis made a lot about that there's no number one drivers, and it was Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard. You kind of knew it was Mika, I don't
know. David, I don't think David thinks that, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But they kind of, Ron and their press, they try to twist themselves in pretzels to suggest there wasn't. But it was kind of Mika. I mean,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see what happens. Never fear. They say they've worked out a simpler way to apply papaya rules. So that we have that.
But again, I think even at that, like it's easier if you are two heterosexuals in a marriage that gender roles. If we follow gender roles, then we don't have to have conversation. You're the man. You take out the trash. I'm the woman. I do the dishes. But maybe that's not the best use of our resources. Maybe the man's better at doing the dishes and the woman's better at taking out the trash. But that requires conversation. And so I guess that's what I'm saying here is that you can run your team however you want, but you may have to have more communication because you can't just rely on social norms and stereotypes to run your team.
Yeah.
And I think that McLaren's got that sorted, that, they especially having the same drivers now a second season, and they can continue to tweak this relationship. They expect both of their drivers to do well. That's going to get them more points. You aren't reliant on Max Verstappen to get all the points for their team, right? That's the downside. If you don't have a Max Verstappen, you can't run that way.
Right.
Because you will not end up with enough points. You can't have two Yuki Tsunodas and expect to win.
Yeah, right.
So, I just don't think most teams, there aren't that many Max Verstappen. We all can't be Marc Marquez. There just isn't enough people with that level of talent that you can run a team that way.
No, there's not. All right. Well, you know what time it is. It's time for Alvin's Cats. Why wouldn't it be? This is where we talk about everything not really F1 that we saw. Yeah. What do you got for us in Alvin's Cats?
So, first of all, I did want to mention, as viewers may know, this past weekend was the 24 Hours of Daytona, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, so I just, after watching, I don't watch the whole 24 hours. I do sleep. But I feel like, how do you know somebody watched the 24 Hours of Daytona without asking them if they watched it? Just ask them, what things do you hate today? If they say KFC, John Hamm, Scarlett Johansson, The Fog, you'll know that they watched enough of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, that they're tired of those commercials. And if I have to see the Scarlett Johansson, Lindsey Vonn commercial one more time,
I know.
I had it.
I know, totally. And the color yellow from all of the yellow flags running,
Yes, The Fog. And so it was like, but I went to bed before the 6-hour caution, and when I woke up, that was at the end of the 6-hour caution. I was like, wow, that is a terrible time to have a caution.
Yeah.
It was it was foggy, but
yeah, it was.
There wasn't a choice, but like the graveyard shift, and you're just, oh my, I don't know how you, it's endurance racing. It's already about, keeping focus.
Yeah. Reliability. Yeah.
Right, and yet now you're just in a caution in the fog for 6 hours. Hold it together, man.
There's willpower out there. First one he's ever driven driving for hours in the fog.
He did pretty good.
Under yellow. Good job, Will.
That's right.
It's brutal. No, hey, but big kudos to our own Paul Charsley, who had a podium. For GTD at the number 27 Aston Martin on the podium. So good. I thought they were going to win it. They were.
I did
leading.
too there for a moment. Yeah.
They were leading for the last portion of that race and really thought they made the right move and pit strategy, got out ahead of that Merc and then just thought they had it. So anyway, but it's a podium. It's third place. So congratulations to the team. Great job to them.
Absolutely. I did also want to mention that we had Alpine's launch this week, this past week. And I love that, it was more old school, like the way the launches used to be. And it was on a cruise ship because that's one of their sponsors. Although it can't just be me that every time I see that it's MSC, I think, wow, Michael Schumacher, he's out there winning championships and running cruise ships. Look at that guy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I either think Michael or Mick Schumacher, on the timing screen.
Every time it's like, so I've never gone on a cruise, but if I did, I'm totally going with the Michael Schumacher guys. They seem to know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
I thought I welcome the old schoolness of Flavio and bringing back some joy to the car launches for the kids that don't know what it used to be like before we had austerity measures and we just never went to fun.
Right.
They just stopped being fun. That's all we want.
Right.
We all know that you're just rolling out some different colors.
Yeah.
So make it fun, right? Like, you're not kidding anybody. We know we're not going to see your real car. jazz up a little bit. Have some dancers. Have some confetti guns.
I haven't harvested through all of the photos from all the launches to find which team set the drivers on the front wheels. I need to look.
I need Autosport. That used to be...
That used to be the de facto shot every year. But I don't see that so much anymore. So I think people are starting to listen to us finally after 19 years of talking about Formula One on here. I think people have stopped doing that. But I need to go check. And if any of you saw, on socials like on X or the Facebook group or whatever, posted, because I haven't seen one yet from this year. So
it's kind of like you can make it into a drinking game. Like every time the driver sits on tires, you drink. Which I was thinking, because again, for like this past week, they've been talking about the weather that happened on Sunday and the snow and the ice. And I was like, every time they say feels like, I'm like, man, if we watch the Weather Channel and every time they said feels like we take a drink, we'd be dead in like 30 minutes.
Don't get me started on the feels like. Oh my gosh, that's pathetic.
But I never paid attention to that, except I know how much and rightly so. I agree with you, it's annoying, but I'm just like, it's all everybody talked about all weekend.
Yeah, I know.
It feels like temperature. Yeah, it's cold out there.
I know.
And then my last bit, I try to be relatively non-F1 politically neutral. But I would like to say, so finally, my McLaren merch is coming in. Finally, that was nice timing there, right? Finally, all my McLaren merch is starting to come in. Tariffs are costing me a lot of money, and I'm done with it. I need this to not happen in a year that my team wins both world championships.
Yeah. Oi, Zach, eat the tariff. Come on.
What are we doing? Like, this stuff's expensive. And
aren't you guys supposed to be really trying to get America on board? Well, quit nailing us with tariffs on F1 merch. You guys should eat that.
I'm sorry that I like a team based in England. What is this? God, first of all, it took them so long, which I don't understand, because I assume that they must print like they do for the Super Bowl. There will be Patriots 1, Seahawks 1. Both merch will go to the Super Bowl. One will get used, one gets donated somewhere else, right?
Right.
Why did it take McLaren so long to get their merch out? And then when they finally do get it out, it gets held hostage because they have to pay extra tariffs. Thanks a lot.
I know.
Thanks.
Over the holidays, I ordered me a hoodie from the Smallest Cog, which is Richard Hammond's, group. And, and I got to say, Richard, well done, because whoever's doing your merch did a great job, because I ordered it, got here quickly. Of course, it was expensive with the whole thing, but they did get it here pretty quick, all things considered. So Richard and I are like this.
I know, right? We're like this. It's great.
Yeah.
I love Richard Hammond, so that's good.
He's great.
But I just want to put that out there, people.
All right,
watch what you're ordering from England. It's not cheap.
That's right.
Thanks.
Why you ought to order TPF gear at a merch store.
There you go.
There's your solution right there. I know. All right. I got some new shit headlines for you.
All right.
Guys.
I'm ready.
He was 19, but so what? Max Verstappen's girlfriend, Kelly Piquet, responds to comments of 9-year age gap with F1 He was only 19. He's only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
It is not the 9-year age difference. Like, there's 9 years between Flip and I, but I met him in my 30s, right? Like, that's it's different, right?
Yeah.
It depends on where it hits in your life course that 9 year difference hits.
9 years when you're in elementary school might as well be an eternity, right? 9 years in midlife, not a big deal. And then when you get older, 9 years is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. You probably don't really think about it, but it does. One of you should retire 9 years before the first one, and one of you starts having all the older people issues, and it's a deal. It's a thing.
Yeah. So
anyway,
why did her?
Well, she had a whole life with Daniel Kvyat.
I was going to say, why can't I think of his name? Kvyat. Yeah. Wasn't she with Kvyat by at that point? Like, how does he feel about this?
I know. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I don't know. So let's see. Here's another headline. Sticks out like a wart. F1 fans furious at divisive feature ruining everything, in quotes, on Ferrari's new car for 2026 season. I just gotta say,
the jaggy shark fin. I mean, what are people?
It's the white on top. It just
I don't like it. So,
no, I don't either. But
what I don't actually like is how much Ferrari is trying to sell us on it. It's like a throw. So it reminds me of the Formula One movie where they're like, well, all these things happened. Yeah, over the course of like 60 years, not in 6 races.
Not in 6, right?
Right. I get that all these things did happen in Formula One, but not in one season. Not this close together, right? Yeah. That's the part that's ridiculous. So it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
Like they're just like, it's a throwback to our It's not. It's HP. We're not dumb. It's fine. Just
it's
own
HP.
It. And we'll move on. But the selling of us on this like historical livery we've got, and that's where the white comes from. It's not. It's
not
cool.
buying it. Not buying it.
Yeah.
Let's see. And lastly, easily the worst. Mercedes' weird new livery sends F1 fans into a meltdown ahead of a new F1 season. A meltdown.
The worst.
Fans, what? We're talking about death threats now?
Okay.
I mean, good grief.
Who am I to tell you and Paul how to run the race weekend shows? But you might want to change like Donkey of the Race to easily the worst.
Easily the worst. Easily the worst. I was looking at it.
The worst from this
my
week.
First impressions, and I don't know if it's intent. I'm sitting here recording live, and I haven't researched any of this. I'm just talking out of my backside. But
yeah,
as first I saw it looked like the Adidas stripes. Is that who their kit is supplied by? Is it Adidas? I mean, if it is, then it kind of it ties in to the Adidas brand. If it does, if it doesn't, if that wasn't the intent, no, I agree. It's easily the worst. Now, I'm not in a meltdown over it. And I'm a Ferrari fan. I'm not in a meltdown over what did it say? Fans furious. Yeah. Ruining everything. I don't think the white on the Ferrari is ruining everything, but I don't like it. And Mercedes is easily the worst.
There's this is totally like, it's like boggle or something, right? Like, or shake adjectives, right? I don't, like, these are like the craziest adjectives for describing something, but,
I know.
They have to they can't just be like, well, Todd didn't really care for it.
No, you got to click on it.
It's not going to sell papers, right?
It's not going to, it's not going to do my CPM very, very well, so.
No, but I like
anyway, that's my notion headlines.
Easily the worst. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Williams not coming to the Shakedown. Easily the worst.
Easily the worst. Easily the worst. Yeah, I agree. Let's see, Wes, I did get your message. I want to try to get when Paul's on, too, so to answer your question. But I liked your question, so stand by. All right, well, that does it for this podcast. This is what we think about this week in the news. You can tell us what you think of the news. If you see some tire-sitting pictures, send it to Grace and I. If you'd like to share your opinion, you can do it at theparkformay.com. If you like this podcast, go give us a good rating. Show us some love on your favorite podcast player. And, hey, look, if you watch the video, just do us a favor. Just go hit the like and the bell thing. It helps us in ways that you couldn't really possibly understand.
Nobody
and I don't know that I understand, but it's supposed to. I don't know. Let's give it a try, shall we? Okay. Everybody go like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and then I will come back and I will tell you all what it actually does on YouTube. Yeah. And then you'll know when you start your F1 podcast, and then you'll know whether you want to beg for that kind of crap like I keep doing.
And start for some other podcasts. We don't need more competition.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway,
we're good.
All right. Well, until next week when we come back to do it all over again, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber, saying so long, Grace.
See you next week.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
I don't feel I've got to prove at all. I don't really want to prove anything. I started as an amateur with no idea or no intention of becoming world champion. I was curious to find